What's up, everybody? How you guys doing? Hope everybody is doing great. So you're sitting there and you're saying, you know what? I'm training for a marathon, or in the future, I want to train for a marathon, but I'm also in this caloric deficit because I want to lose some weight. So John, is it a good idea for me to train for a marathon or even a half marathon and stick with my caloric deficit type of diet? And I'm here to tell you, no, that's a bad idea. Unfortunately, you can't kill two birds with one stone in this situation. So let's talk about this. Hey guys, I'm Coach Kimani. I am a cross-country track coach and also an everyday runner. So you can see in the background, I'm watching the Phoenix Marathon that just happened the other day. So sometimes I sit at home and I watch the marathons, and my wife hates it. When I watch marathons, she's like, really? But I love it. It's so relaxing. So it was a really beautiful race. Let me talk a little bit about my journey before I start this caloric deficit thing. Years ago, I wanted to lose weight. I was getting overweight, and I was overweight. And I was a size 40. And when I hit that size 40 pants, waist, I said, man, I got to do something. And also, I had some other issues that were happening, like high blood pressure. So I decided to pick up my running shoes in order to tackle some of these things. Okay. So I picked up my running shoes and I started running. And 5 years later, right now, I'm at size 34 comfortably, size 32 tight, right? And I'm still in this weight loss journey as I am running. But let me tell you something. When I'm running, easy running, leisure running is totally different than training for a race, training for a marathon. So since the beginning, I've been training for races, 10Ks, 5Ks, half marathons, marathons, and all that. I never, ever went into a caloric deficit type of diet. Now, those things do work. Caloric deficit diets do work, but no, please do not do any type of caloric deficit where you're not eating well, you're limiting your calories, okay, while you're trying to train. According to the Google, let me just look it up here. Can I be in a caloric deficit and train for a marathon? Let's see what the good old Google says. A caloric deficit and a marathon training do not mix. Being in a deficit while marathon training will more likely lead to injury, illness, and burnout. Will lead to injury, illness. Why is this? Because when you're training for something like this, you need all your nutrition, okay? You need good nutrition. Now, in order for you, is it possible then, John, to lose weight while I train? Okay. Technically, what happens is when you're training for marathons, you do gain weight. So when you're training for a marathon, please do not look at the weight scale and step on it. You will tend to notice that you are gaining weight, but your clothes are fitting a little bit better. What's going on there? So when we're training for a marathon, like the last marathon I trained, I gained some weight. I was like, okay, I'm gaining some weight. Probably that's because of the carb loading. So you're eating a lot of carbs. You are drinking a lot of fluids, hydrating. So your body's holding on to more water. So carbs, what carbs tend to do is they tend to help you hold on to water in your body. So that's where the weight gain is coming from. Plus, you are developing, building some muscle mass while you're training for this marathon, because marathon training, if you do it right with a coach or with a training marathon training program, is going to force you to do strength training. You don't want to be in a marathon program without strength training. So when you strength training, you're doing these things, you are gaining weight, but it's not bad weight. You're not gaining fat. So what I did when I'm training for 5Ks, 10Ks, marathons, is I make sure I'm eating the right types of food. Okay. So I fuel my runs. And then after my runs, I eat food for recovery to help with those muscles that I just worked out. So you're working out your muscles. Like this morning, I was super sore. I just did a 13-mile run this morning, 14 miles, 13 something. Yeah. And it was a beautiful run. So what did I eat before? I'm not in a caloric deficit. Actually, what you want to do is regain those calories you lost while you were training. So before I ran this long run, because I knew it was going to be long, I ate a cup of oatmeal, coffee, and a banana. That was my pre-run snack. Okay. Then after that, I did some errands. Oh, look what I got. My favorite recovery. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Now it's not a burrito, right? So because I want to make it as healthy as I can, I'm going to eat this whole thing. This is rice, white rice. It's got chicken. It's got some beef in it. It's got guacamole. It's got lettuce. So I'm going to eat this whole thing today, and I'm going to eat it twice. So I'm going to cut it in half, eat once. So this is my recovery, because then in 2 days, I'm also doing another workout. So I want to make sure that my body is ready to go. Now, if I'm in a caloric deficit and I'm trying to lose weight, I can maybe not do this. I might break this into 3s or into 2s in the next 2 days, because I'm in a caloric deficit. Now, because I'm training, I'm not worried about that. Okay. So that in a nutshell is what's going on. You want to focus on eating foods that are healthy for you and that will work for your specific training needs. A lot of people will say, well, which works, stay away from carbohydrates, focus on protein. As if you're lifting weights and you're trying to bulk up, or you're trying to look lean and mean, right? Or lean and cute. Yes, you don't need a lot of the carbohydrates, but also carbohydrates are really important to fuel your workouts, lifting weights, all those things. You do need to fuel. You just don't need as many carbs as a runner might need. And also, as runners, we do need protein. So and there's a way to calculate how much protein you need to eat per weight. You can research that, and I'll talk about that later, not for this video, right? Because I need to prep and let you know how much protein you need according to how much you weigh and what your weight goal is. So, but for me, I make sure I have enough protein after my run for the day according to how much I weigh and my weight goal. Because I'm also, right now I'm at 180, and my ultimate goal is 160. So I came from the 200s to 20s to 15s, and I'm at 180. My ultimate goal is 160. So as I'm doing these videos, you guys are catching me in this journey as I continue to go down to where I was when I was an ultimate runner, right? But also the goal is for me to be a lifelong runner. I'm not in a hurry. Here it is. Let me close this video and stop talking too much. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. If you're training for marathons, you're training for half marathons and those type of things, train for those things, eat the way you're supposed to eat, replace those calories you lost. Your body will take care of itself. Your body will use what it needs to use. You can also do some fasted running, which we'll talk about. Your slow runs, I've talked about in some of my past videos. You can look at those. Which runs can you run so your body can use just the stored fat, and what type of runs are you running so you can use that fuel, that food you just ate. For example, my run today, my 13 miler, probably the first 30, 40 minutes used up all that oatmeal that I ate. Okay. Used it up. And then maybe some food from last night. And then the rest of the run, it was basically stored energy, glycogen, muscles, because my muscles were sore. So I used a lot of muscle, and also some of that fat storage that's in my body. So now I'm going to, what happened to it? I'm going to enjoy my food. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you. Love you guys.